On the news, Vice President Shettima inaugurates Board of Nigerian Independent System Operator, NISO.
NISO will now be at the heart of our power sector, facilitating seamless coordination among generation, transmission, and distribution.
Nigeria's solid mineral sector attracts 800 billion naira foreign investment as Senate committee meets Chinese investors.
We will appreciate if you can do value addition by setting up processing plants, particularly in Nasarawa and Kebbi, where we have solid minerals in abundance.
House of Representatives investigates alleged mismanagement of government intervention agricultural funding.
A total of 40.1 billion was disbursed under ABP, and as at February end 2025, 27.6 billion has been repaid.
Plus, civil society organizations re-examine recall procedure of Senator Natasha Akpoti.
TMG is calling on all the stakeholders to treat issues based on rule of law.
Good evening and welcome to NTA Parliamentary News. I am Ene Ojonugba. The news begins as Vice President Kashim Shettima inaugurates the board of the Nigerian Independent System Operator as part of government's efforts to restructure and strengthen Nigeria's electricity sector in line with the Electricity Act 2023. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the board is tasked with overseeing the operational and market independence of the system, aimed at managing critical aspects of Nigerian electricity supply chain that includes grid stability, system operations, power dispatch, and market coordination.
The creation of NISO is not just an administrative exercise, but a strategic move to transform and position the Nigerian electricity industry for efficiency and reliability. With the unbundling of TCN, NISO will now be at the heart of our power sector, facilitating seamless coordination among generation, transmission, and distribution.
The committee is urged to serve with diligence, integrity, and a deep sense of responsibility.
Major reform in our quest to transform the power sector for operational efficiency and for effective service delivery of a functional, reliable, and affordable electricity supply to our households, to our businesses, to our institutions, and to our industries, all for economic growth and national developments.
Integrity, discipline, good oversight of the power industry, and by God's grace and the support and prayers of everyone, we hope to transform the Nigerian electricity supply industry.
We're expected to hit the grounds running in terms of the sector coordination, transparency in system operations, transparency in market administrations, and making sure that there's grid reliability and availability and also quality of power to the teeming populace of Nigeria.
The unbundling of TCN into both the Nigerian Independent System Operator and Transmission Service Provider became imperative, and that is what has been done. And it also, suffice to say that this actually went through a very transparent and competitive process.
Nigeria's solid mineral sector is attracting more foreign investment as the Chinese group Zhonghong Kotai concludes arrangement to invest a startup sum of 800 billion naira. This was disclosed when the delegation of the group from China met with the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals for discussions on the investment plan.
The solid mineral sector is in the nearest future going to surpass the oil that Nigeria is depending on.
We will appreciate if you can do value addition by setting up processing plants, particularly in Nasarawa and Kebbi, where we have solid minerals in abundance.
Meanwhile, The House of Representatives is advocating a reduction of multiple checkpoints at the semi-border and deployment of technology to enhance e-customs operations and promote trade facilitation along that axis. This was when members of the House Committee on Customs visited semi-border for oversight of customs operations. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports.
Customs officers keep eagle eyes at the Badagry Seme-Krake border post, said to be one of the busiest in the country. The Seme Area Command oversees the area, yet it is prone to smuggling of contraband items. However, the command accounts for 75% of overall customs revenue, realizing 1.9 billion naira for first quarter 2025 alone. These points underscore the maiden visit by the House Committee on Customs to Seme border to look into the books of the command and assess operational challenges.
In your operations, we need to know whether it facilitates trade to encourage more patronage of our ports and border stations than our neighboring countries. Because in Ninth Assembly, we ordered most of these surveillance gadgets, artificial intelligence for the border, which I believe by this year some of them will arrive. They will arrive, they will deploy them here to help monitor like 100 kilometers radius where human being cannot access.
The activities of your men on this road has paralyzed the economy of Badagry. Let me put it straight to you. When you mount 15, 20, 30 roadblocks on the road,
what do you do that you have accumulated over time?
A lot of Nigerians believe that if your members are not, in cooperation with the criminals, a lot of these crimes will not be, effective. So
every year, every day here, we seize cannabis, and when we seize them, we hand over to the NDLA. In Nigeria, we have 1,400 unmanned borders, 114 manned borders. So even if you line up the whole custom officers along this route, it might be quite difficult for them to eradicate smuggling.
Members of the committee saw for themselves the threat posed by ocean surge gradually encroaching on customs facilities at the Seme border.
There's need for embankment here. In 2025 budget of custom, this must be there.
Customs officials and other security personnel work tirelessly here at the Seme-Krake border to curb smuggling activities which continue on daily basis. But there is advocacy that more men and technology are needed to effectively combat smuggling and safeguard national revenue and the economy. From Seme border, Mitari Ikpen, NTA News.
The Vice President Kashim Shettima says the federal government remains committed to attracting investments to unlock the full potential of the agricultural value chain to ensure food security, create jobs and secure a brighter future for generations yet unborn. The Vice President stated this during the groundbreaking ceremony of a multi-billion naira agro-processing industrial hub in Kaduna. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports.
Dressed in a colorful traditional Kanuri attire, the Vice President arrived in Kaduna with a host of opportunities for the people of the state. He is here to perform the groundbreaking ceremony of an agro-processing industry, a project expected to generate jobs for the youth of Kaduna State.
They will create opportunities for our young people, empowering them with skills and knowledge to engage in meaningful work and contribute actively to the economy. The youth of Nigeria must not be spectators in the economy. They must be stakeholders, builders and shapers of their own futures. This SAPZ has been classified as one of the priority projects by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. This isn't just about bricks and mortar. It is about people. It is about the resilience of our farmers, the ingenuity of our processors and entrepreneurs, and the commitment of our government and development partners to build a future that works for everyone. What we are breaking today is not just ground. It is the foundation for a new agro-industrial processing ecosystem that will serve generations to come.
Our industries are thriving, and our state is leading Nigeria's agricultural transformation. Together, let's use this moment and turn Kaduna State into a model for agribusinesses driving economic growth.
The multi-billion-dollar investment is supported by the African Development Bank.
It's expected that $1 billion of investment will be mobilized in these zones and create thousands of jobs. The success of the special agro-industrial processing zones across Nigeria will require 5 critical enablers. First, there is need for continued strong political will and commitment at the highest levels. I have no doubt that that is the case because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has designated this as a presidential initiative.
The SAPZ program is not merely an agricultural initiative, it is a catalyst for economic growth and import substitution. As we invest in agro-processing development, we are investing in the future of our communities.
The agro-industrial processing hub is expected to host processing plants for grains, fruits, vegetables and livestock products. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajingi, NTA News.
There is a consensus that the reality today in Nigeria is that despite huge sums of money budgeted and disbursed over the years for agricultural programs, Africa's largest economy continues to grapple with food importation, fluctuation in food prices, and malnutrition. This was brought to the fore at the investigative hearing of an alleged misuse of government interventions and agricultural funding by departments, agencies, schemes and programs of the federal government by the House of Representatives Committee on Nutrition and Food Security. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Ogunjide reports.
The Green Chamber is interested in knowing how the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) through the Anchor Borrowers Program disbursed about 1.12 trillion naira to 4.67 million farmers involved in either maize, rice or wheat farming through 563 anchors. The committee also beams its searchlight on the incentive-based risk-sharing system for agricultural lending (NESO), which disbursed more than 215 billion naira.
One of the key oversight mandates of the committee is to ensure proper implementation of intervention programs by relevant ministries, departments and agencies of government related to food security and nutrition, investigations, monitoring of resource allocation, advancement of new laws and strengthening of existing ones, among others, on matters relating to nutrition and food security, are comprehensively contained in the committee's jurisdiction.
A total of 40.1 billion was disbursed under ABP, and as at February end 2025, 27.6 billion has been repaid, leaving a principal outstanding balance of 12.4 billion as detailed in this table I'm reading.
Because this kind of agencies who are supposed to monitor it, you should have good monitoring system. You should have extension workers. Before you access the loan, where is their side? How far have you gone?
We engaged the services of the EFCC and also the services of the DSS. And through these relationships and collaborations, we have been able to recover 3,987,100,234 naira. Why we have actually had to follow this path is that some of the anchors, based on our monitoring intervention, we have reasons to believe that they did not effectively execute or abide by the terms and the guidelines of the disbursement.
We don't have a solution. We wrote a response to the office that we were not part of any of this. And
so you shouldn't be here, that's what you're saying?
I believe so, sir.
Members therefore requested for details covering the period under review 2017 to 2024, including banks and donor partners involved in the transactions. From the National Assembly, Joshua Ogunjide, NTA News.
The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, is optimistic that Nigeria's aviation sector leads by example in adopting green technologies and practices towards addressing climate change and environmental sustainability. This came to light when the minister received members of the House of Representatives Committee on Climate Change in his office. Aliyu Kabir reports.
The aviation industry faces increased pressure to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to address the risk of climate-related disruptions such as flight cancellations and delays, and improve passenger safety and satisfaction. To this regard, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, receives members of the House of Representatives Committee on Climate Change. The essence is to put all hands on deck to improve fuel efficiency and reduce emissions to mitigate its environmental impact.
Nigeria, as a member of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, is committed to playing its part in global efforts to combat climate change. We are aligned with the Paris Agreement and ICAO's carbon offsetting and reduction scheme for international aviation, which sets ambitious targets for the aviation sector to mitigate its environmental impact.
Nigerians understand this, and with the Climate Change Act 2021 as logo backing, serious efforts are being made by the country to not only address climate change, but to also leverage on the opportunities it presents to position the country on a path to sustainable growth and development.
The minister highlighted agencies under the ministry working round the clock through several initiatives in this regard, assuring the members that the ministry will work with the National Assembly members and other critical stakeholders to implement policies and actions to achieve more sustainable and responsible aviation sector in Nigeria. In Abuja, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
Going forward, a technical working group tasked with the responsibility of preparing Nigeria's second biennial transparency report and fourth national communication began its assignment. The two-day engagement is preparatory to the submission of the report to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in 2026. Charles Alpha reports.
Nigeria, being a party to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and its Paris Agreement, has the obligation to prepare and submit national reports of emission of greenhouse gases by sources and removal by sinks, mitigation actions, adaptation impacts, and support received or needed, which is in accordance with the decisions and guidelines of reporting under the convention. In order to meet this obligation, Nigeria has prepared and submitted to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, 3 national communications, 2 biennial update reports, and the recently submitted first biennial transparency report. This technical working group, cutting across MDAs, convened again to commence the preparation of the next cycles of reporting.
These reports are crucial for tracking progress towards climate goals, eventually supporting strong alignment with more effective data-driven climate action.
As we stand now, we just reported in the BTR1 what has been achieved to the 2030 time horizon, and it's going to be the same time horizon of 2030 for the BTR2.
This engagement is expected will clearly lay out the transparency reporting requirements as well as address identified gaps from the first report. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Time to pause for some messages. The news continues shortly.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-7 770-780-55. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Welcome back. You're watching Parliamentary News reaching you from NTA Parliament, Abuja. You can follow the platforms on your screen for more updates. The Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, Ugochinyere Ikiagunu, has expressed confidence in the ability of the new board of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, to deliver on its mandates. In a statement, the lawmaker commended President Tinubu for the choice of members of the board, while urging the new NNPCL's Group Chief Executive Officer, Bashir Bayo Ojulari, and his team to work at expanding the gains being recorded so far in the oil sector. The lawmaker assured that the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream will ensure thorough oversight of industry activities to enable Nigerians reap the benefits of ongoing reforms carried out by the federal government in the sector. In another development, some civil society organizations in Nigeria are re-examining the recent recall procedure on Senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti, which they described as a mere charade and an aberration of Section 69 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The Transition Monitoring Group at a media briefing in Abuja commended the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for upholding constitutionalism and due process. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Briefing newsmen on the issue in the Red Chamber involving the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, Natasha Akpoti Uduahan, that led to the initiation of the recall, Chairman Transition Monitoring Group Awal Musa Rafsanjani says, for democracy to thrive, all parties must be given fair hearing. The chairman commended the Independent National Electoral Commission for standing by the Constitution.
TMG is calling on all the stakeholders to treat issues based on rule of law, based on ethics and morality, because some people are trying to truncate this hard-earned democracy. And any attempt to draw us back would be a huge betrayal.
The TMG therefore advised for further investigations to verify and authenticate the voter identification number of electorate through the beavers, and anyone found wanting among the petitioners should face justice to serve as deterrent to others. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
In a bid to prevent a degeneration of schemism into crisis between Nasarawa and Benue State's border communities, major stakeholders from the state assemblies are evolving measures to foster a lasting peace in the affairs. This was at a peace-building mission to the communities of Odori and Abuja Ogo in Doma local government area of Nasarawa State. Adams Abdul Kadri completes the report.
The member representing Doma South State constituency at the Nasarawa State House of Assembly and his counterpart from neighboring Benue State met on a peacekeeping mission in the Odori community, dissuading residents from taking laws into their hands regarding land and border disputes in their communities. They maintained that already the National Boundary Commission and that of the two states have commenced work on demarcation for amicable resolution.
What binds us is more than what will divide us. You need me, I need you. There's no reason for fight. We will go and sit down and analyze all the other evidences and testimonies you have given to see how we will still come back and sit with you. Perhaps this time around with other higher members of the authority, so that permanent solutions will be brought to you.
According to them, the approach is to help prevent violence and foster a sense of collaboration between the two states.
As it is, I'm going to report to the governor directly through the speaker of what I have seen and how we're able to bring it temporarily or ad hoc solutions So what we need now is permanent solution. It may be seen like one small problem. You can see for yourself how agitated, how anxious the people are. And before now, there has been a deliberate arrangement to come with full force to either attack the area through the host or the settlers. And if solutions are not provided, honestly, it will be bad. What we came here is to ask the people to shield their swords.
Chairman, the local government and some others emphasized the importance of unity and cooperation among neighboring states while advising the communities concerned to maintain order pending intervention from higher authorities. From Duma local government area, Adams Abdulkadri, NTA News.
That is the size of our bulletin at this time. For more updates, kindly follow NTA Parliament on the platform scrolling on your screen. Thanks for staying with us. Once again, I am Ene Ojonuba. Bye for now.